Good morning, traders. I hope you're having a good day, and as usual, it's always a good day to trade. So, without further ado, let's begin. For starting, the Bank Nifty was a complete sideways mess today. So, watch this video carefully, and if you have traded, comment down below. Well, traders, welcome back. And today's market was extremely slow, sideways, and really stupid. That's how I could summarize the market of today. Yeah, to be summarized precisely, it was a market where you shouldn't trade, but you should. So it was really good for learning, but definitely not good for trading. I don't think most of traders would have made losses today, but those who have made profit, it was extremely good and they would have made a really good profit. And let me tell you how would that be. So as you could see, this is our first entry. The market has already opened and I took the entry at exactly 34,921 around that level. And as you could see, the CPR, today's CPR was extremely narrow one, but the 20 period moving average, the distance between the both two was extremely huge. At this point itself was really around 125 points. So based on that thing, I knew the market wasn't able to going to sustain this upside move. So I shorted rather than going long, because logically most of the traders would have longed it, because you could see this thing, a really strong support area, which was acting as a really good resistance from a bit of previous 2 days, and now it has broken it up and taken a real support. But I knew that it wouldn't last very much long, so I shorted. But as soon as I shorted, it did fell down around 60-70 points, and it gone in that sideways range for around half an hour to 1 hour. So I was there sitting at the market, but at this time, luckily, I was observing market at multiple time frames, and I observed this pattern in US also. This is the, US also not, in Bank Nifty spot chart. You could see this thing. A symmetrical triangle pattern was forming, and this hammer candle, which is this hammer candle was the one which was a complete red candle, bearish candle, which turned upside and made form an hammer. So at that point, I was observing when it was forming a hammer. I observed the market, it was somewhere around this candlestick, and I saw the market was not going to come down. It has formed a really good symmetrical pattern, and it would break it. So rather than risking and holding this position to convert a loss, I decided the real good decision to close this thing, as the market was showing me it will go against me. So I closed it at the top of the green candle around with 25 points as a profit. Small profit, it wouldn't consider as a profit itself, because my target was extremely huge of around 200 points, but I close it. So, and after as soon as close it, I place a trigger or limit trigger order as soon as the candle high would get broken. So based on that, I've taken a second entry at 34,914. You could see this thing, a really good entry, and my target was around 150 points, because on the upper level in the spot chart, you could see on the upper level the target placement could be at 34,900, 34,920 was a really good target placement. And based on that thing, I placed a target with higher. I knew there was 35,000 round level on futures chart. You could see this thing. You could see this 35,000 level on future. But as I see on spot chart, it could gain a really good 50 points plus momentum ahead. So I rather not leave money on the table. So I kept the cool and kept the trade going on. But unfortunately, the market reversed at somewhere around 34,980. You could see this thing, and it made a top and it just reversed. So at this point also, I was thinking the market would take support, but it didn't, and it formed a hammer at bottom rather than forming a 21 period moving average. So unfortunately, my target was stop loss was hit. The original stop loss was around 44 points. I trailed it till 25, and unfortunately the stop loss was hit, and I got get out of the trade with a 25 points loss. So after this thing happened, I thought that this level was which was a good support level has broken, and it formed a really good inverted hammer. So I entered just after 5 minutes again. So this entry was a bit quite early. I shouldn't have logically entered here. Should have waited. This was my mistake, but and I paid the price for that thing because I got stopped out at 40 point SL. But my target was around 150 points, but it didn't hit any go straight upside and hit a SL. So which was another loss of around 40 points. But as soon as I saw that thing, I saw the top candle forming a inverted hammer again. So I re-entered the market because I knew today's CPR, you could see it was a narrow CPR. The narrow CPRs usually indicate there would be a really high momentum, volatile momentum, and that was the reason I entered first here at the first place. So, but it also didn't take place like that. My target now was I was a bit scared because I have already taken 3 trades in a day, out of which I lost the 2 of them, and one I have exited at bare minimum profit. So I don't want to go ahead and be a really jerk to seeing the market is has been trading sideways, and I don't want to put a 200-300 point target. So I put a really small conservative target of 94 points. It was as a bank nifty, it's a bit good, not minimum target, but it was really good. At it was also away from the today's low. So I knew the today's low might not get broken that easily since it has already been tested as a resistance from previous 2 sessions, and today it has broken and tested as a support. So I knew that today's low might not get broken. So I placed my target just a bit above today's low, around 94 points, around 34,830. It after this thing, it fell down a couple of bit, and then again started moving up. Now this thing I anticipated this thing. Let me show you how that was. You see this trend line. I anticipated this move and this. So this was the main pattern of inverted flag pattern which I saw, and I expected this upside move. So that's why I was cool around this region. But soon as this candle fell and this wick formed, a huge red candle and falling roughly around, you could see around 70 points candle, and it again getting a retracement in the same candlestick of till 40 which is really huge. So I think this was the point where I thought that I should exit this trade because it is acting as a really good support, and the market would be sideways for today, and it might end as a sideways market. But the CPR here was the one for which I traded mostly because the CPR was narrow, and I knew the market could has a really good potential momentum phase which could arise suddenly as it consolidated, move upside, failed, move again downside, it again consolidated form an inverted flag pattern, and it again fall down. But after the fall, there was a huge wick, which is really concerning as far as if you are trading as well as when market when fall, usually fall in a really good pace, a single downside momentum, and then a small retracement, and again downside momentum. Usually market fall in that way. But here, the candlestick which formed was a wick candle from downside, which clearly indicated a huge buying pressure from downside itself. So rather than risking it, I eventually closed this thing at a small 10 points profit. You can say it's a profit is a negligible loss. So that would be the really correct decision. Negligible loss as soon as I have seen this next candle forming green, and this third candle was a green candle when it was forming up. So when it was touched, it, as soon as it touched its high, I closed it because I knew the market could be remain sideways for the next till the next trading session. So I closed here with 10 points, which was extremely a bad move from my side. Let me tell you why it was a bad move. Because market did fall 200 points after that, and you could see it did fell 220 points roughly around, and it did hit a first target. It hit her first target of around 200 points, which was a huge mistake from my side. Then I closed it earlier, but at I think as now I'm making this video, I'm doing analysis. I think it was a pretty good decision, a bit logical decision, because the market could have stayed sideways, and I would have stuck in a sideways market, eventually closing it at a huge a bit small loss or a small profit, and wasting around 2-3 hours sitting here just observing and getting very emotional that market is going down and market is going up. So rather than this thing happening, I closed it and control my emotion, and I closed it, which was a bit right decision. But market did fail, and this thing happened. It always feels bad when you were predicting the market to go in a certain direction. Your prediction was to do. You knew the future, the market that is going to fall. That thing. You have made a good entries also, multiple good entries. So as you could see, all the three entries which I made previously were not a wrong entry. Every entry was a really good decision. First shot was a really good decision. It was at the right point, right position. Buying, closing that thing at 25 points profit, small profit, was a good decision. Again, entering the market on the opposite side was also a good decision. Closing the market at a small loss of 25 points was also a good decision, rather than waiting it till it take a support. Shorting the market around the third point at this level around 34,880 was also a good decision, because as a CPR was narrow, if this could have been a small retracement, the market would have fallen down again with a huge 100-200 points momentum, which I could have missed very easily. So based on the CPR, I shorted in third one, which was also a good decision, but it didn't work, and it hit a stop loss of 40 points, which happened. And then the third trade was also a bit good decision. I knew the market was going to fall. I saw this inverted flag kind of pattern forming, and but unfortunately it hit a SL and then it falls. So I have to re-enter the market with a similar small stop loss of 30 points, and my target was around 94 points based on sideways market. But yeah, it always hurts when you know your decisions are right and the market doesn't move according to it. And when you exit or your SL got hit, and then market suddenly reverses and start moving in your way and eventually hit your target, and that is not a small target. 200 points target was not a small target. It's a really good target. It's worth a lot of money in a single lot also. So that was the trade for today, traders. I have something. We are not going to trade further in Banknifty. As you could see, it's around 3 o'clock. The Banknifty would close sometime soon, and I think the market for tomorrow would be a bit slightly bit bullish. rather than bearish, but we have to be careful while trading because the market is extremely volatile these days and a bit sideways. So we trade with really caution, and rather than trading, I observe the market because this kind of market usually do not happens daily, and they are good to learn something new in sideways market, how to trade in sideways market. So it usually takes a lot of patience to sit in a sideways market and hold on to your trade when you knew at any given point of time the market might give a sudden upside to a downside momentum, which could uh, hit your SL and throw you out of the market with a huge loss. So that's it for today with us. But before you go, I have a really good thing, and I have observing US oil chart. If you are going to trade in commodity, you could see this triangle pattern forming, or inverted triangle pattern forming, or you could say it's a descending triangle pattern. So there's a really high probability that it would give a really good breakdown side. So watch this thing today itself. So we might recover our losses by trading in crude oil, but we have to trade with really good and caution. So don't forget to watch that video also. I hopefully we would trade and I would upload that video today itself. Let's see. And thank you for watching this video. Well, brothers, if you're watching this video till now, don't forget to smash that like button. Don't forget to comment down below if you have taken any trades today in commodity or in equity markets. And don't forget to share these videos. Don't forget to subscribe so you will never miss any update from us by pressing the notification bell. Thank you for watching.